Hey guys, it's Mike with Gettin Greasy Garage. So working on the 4.8 turbo motor, and one of the things you have to do is you have to open up the piston ring gap, because when you apply boost, what happens is the ends of the rings under pressure will hit each other and cause pistons to break. So what you do, or what I'm doing in this case, is I'm reusing the stock pistons and rings. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this apart, show you guys how I do it. I've had this whole assembly sitting in the parts washer for a couple of days just to break up the carbon, but we'll clean all this up and everything else. A couple of tools, piston ring pliers. Now these make it easier to put it back together. You don't have to have them, but if you do, they're handy. This is a piston groove cleaner. It cleans all the carbon out of the grooves. I'll show you how to use that. Soft bristle brush, and this is just a light wire brush and a little pick. It's really all we need. I'm no expert at this. This is how I'm doing things. So you do them how you choose. Take the top ring off. Be careful with these rings. They break pretty easy. And I keep them facing up and in order. There's one. If you start them out of the groove and then you can kind of rotate them off. There's two. And your oil ring is actually in 3 pieces. You just have to find the gaps. That can take a second. Okay. There's the top part of the ring now. These oil rings are pretty thin. There's the top. Okay, now we'll find our bottom. Right in that groove. Okay, I found it. And again, just walking them around the piston. And then here's your oil ring expander. Give everything a good wipe down. First thing I like to do is take a razor blade scraper. Just scrape. Crankshaft fell over. Just scrape the carbon off the head of the piston. You can use a wire brush. I just find the razor blade scraper is easiest. I guess you probably don't have to do this part, but I don't want loose chunks of carbon falling apart, or popping loose upon startup, cause any problems. Okay. Piston head's cleaned up. It doesn't got to be perfect. And right around your outside edge, right above your top ring, there's always a little bit of carbon. I just take my wire brush. And it just cleans right off. Now there's going to be somebody's going to leave in the comments about I'm doing this wrong and should do this, should do that. Well, you do your build your way, and I'll do mine my way. Everybody's happy that way. Sometimes you, ouch. Everybody got a way of doing things, and everybody thinks they're an expert. So I do it my way. Okay. A little bit more. I know this is kind of tedious. I don't want this video to run too long. But I got to do all this to show you what we're doing. Okay. So you can see I got that outer ring cleaned up. So here's where we take that funky looking tool and it just slips into the ring groove. Just like that. And then this lever, you push the lever and it's on a spring. And you put the cutter right into the groove. And you just rotate it. And it cleans the carbon right out of the groove. Go around a couple times. Go to the top one. Same thing. Couple laps around. Get that off. Then I take my soft brush. I'll brush any carbon out of the grooves that didn't fall out. And then your oil groove, you get some carbon down in here. Yeah, you can kind of see it. You can use the groove cleaner, but I just take a little pick and just kind of break it up. It's only ever in a couple spots. So just break it up. Take our brush. That is how you clean up the piston. So now we'll move over and I'll show you guys how to gap the rings. Alright guys, so we're over here at our 4.8 block. This is standard bore. In a previous video I painted it orange. Customer didn't like it orange, so painted it lime green. So the first thing we got to do, rotate it around to the cylinder we're working on. Take a rag, wipe everything out real good. Okay, we got feeler gauges. One's a 28 thousandths and one's a 30 thousandths. Stick that right there. Now, I make a tool for this. This is just to, when I slide the ring into the cylinder, push it down evenly. Roll of tape works good for that. I've got a 8-inch mill file. That's how I remove material from the ring by hand. They make fancy ring tool or ring filers. So here's our ring. Go ahead and start it in the cylinder. Put our roll of tape on it. Slide it down till it's even. Okay. Take our 28 thousandths feeler gauge. And you just check the groove, which is tight. So we'll pull our ring out. So you can relatively do this anywhere. and flush, just remove a little bit of material. It doesn't take much. You just want to cut your end square and flat. Make sure you have no burrs. Stick it back in there. Run it down even. Okay. Verify the gauge. Yep, goes right in. Perfect. Let's see if I can get you guys in here to see. So you're just checking the end gap with your feeler gauge. And I'll go ahead and do this is the top ring at 28. I'll do the second ring at 30. This is for my particular application. And then we'll install the piston. So let me get this other ring done. Alright guys, so I got all the rings filed to fit. First thing we do, we're going to put the rings back on. So you notice you have a reference mark on the piston that points to the front of the block. I use that mark when I put the rings on. So I got our oil ring expander. I'm going to line the groove up with that dot. Just twist it around right into its groove. Take our bottom ring, and I'm going to offset it past that dot for the bottom ring here. Okay. Upper one, and then I'm just going to offset it the opposite way. All I'm doing is, you don't want all these grooves lined up. This one goes at the top of the expander. I know it's hard to see. Okay. There's our oil rings. The expander's lined up here. One ring, the top ring here, bottom ring here. Okay, so then we got our compression rings. This is where I like to use the pliers. You grab our top ring, expand it, slide it down to our second groove, and let it go. Now I like to line that groove 90 degrees from the dot and mosquitoes. And then our top ring will be 90 degrees from the dot the other way, or 180 from the second ring. So if you line these ring gaps up, this thing will digest oil like crazy. So, alright, well, that's that for cleaning up the piston and the ring grooves, gapping the rings. Next thing, I'm going to finish installing this, and then I'm going to go ahead and button up the short block, get the cam in it and everything else. So I'll do a whole another video on the cam. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.